Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I'm on episode 391 today. We are continuing on our 20 small images, mostly floral, but a couple of butterflies and a fish even. We are continuing on. We're on day 2. I have lined up 10 sets of pencils. Yesterday I was a few minutes short after doing an intro, and I still managed to get through 5 sets. Yesterday's winner for that coloring of the day was the Derwent Lightfast, which I have used, again, many times. Every set of these pencils have been used multiple times in small victories. And I believe it's the first time that I have spent with the time with the Derwent drawing, or Derwent Lightfast, I should say. And they won against whoever they were pitted against for the day. So today I'm hoping to get through 10, if not more sets. There are 15 sets left to do. Probably can't do them in one sitting. I may go a little bit long on this one because I would love to have it only take three episodes to finish. I want to show you what it looks like. So I've got my clean, fresh copy of the book to show you that here is the full spread. I believe I can get all of them on the screen here. And then we did the first row. I will now zoom in. Yesterday I had a couple of things. It's so funny. I just take a couple days off and it's like I regress. And so here's where we're at. We're on the middle row, or second row, row 2. So some things yesterday. I was coloring along on the second image, which is this one right here, and forgot. Oh, the second image is here. And I forgot to move my camera, so you guys got to see like a little over half of what I was coloring. So that was annoying. And then the power on my camera was low, and so at some point in the coloring it stopped focusing, and the flash that is adding extra light it died. So luckily the camera didn't die. I caught it in time. And then I went and colored that whole time without having glassine on my birds. Here's the birds up close next to the page on the left, and I did not have them protected the whole time I was coloring. So there you go. I definitely had a lot of mistakes yesterday, which is kind of funny, but just full disclosure, we are all human. So our first set for today is going to be the Black Widow. I have this Lazy Susan crammed full of 10 sets of pencils. I think 10 sets of pencils. Yep. So I'm going to grab the 5. We are doing a certain set of limited colors, only 5 of them. It's basically a mustard, a light pink, a little bit darker pink, an aqua, and a true middle blue. I started with the pastels, so they were a little bit on the lighter side, so I have found that my color choices on these sets of pencils that have more pencils to choose from, I am choosing brighter colors to make things more interesting. So we don't get a lot of color blending. We get a little bit here between the this mustard and the blue aquas I've been doing on the flowers for the leaves. I am a green person. That is my favorite color. So it has been interesting to not... I've had to create green instead of just color with green. So I am making this up. Today, it's a little different. I have done 0 color mock-ups. I am just winging it. Get it? I've got the butterfly wings, and I'm winging it. The Black Widows are a fantastic coloring pencil. They are a terrible using pencil, like for either a beginner or somebody like me that colors, and I have to be very efficient with my time. They are multiple small sets. I was lucky enough to end up with the first set I had was about 96. and they came in a chunk, and I bought them used. I actually drove to her house. She was a wonderful lady, and I ended up getting a whole bunch of coloring books from her as well. And that was my first set. Then I fished around looking for the best way to buy the other half of them, because I think there's a full set of 196. How can I get them used? And unfortunately, I mean, new. While doing that, used ones popped up, and I ended up buying these from a marketplace that I don't normally shop at. It was either Mercari or Poshmark, because after I had that experience, I thought I am gonna buy from a different market. So I ended up then having a second purchase, buying some Holbeins. So the second purchase of these was a full set of the full set 196. They're an older set, and so they don't have the color barrels on the ends. And I believe all of the Black Widows now come with the color dipped ends to help you. So I don't have none of the set of 5, which I am not spending the time to share color names and numbers, because they're all so similar to all of them that I'm going to be doing, that you will see in the description if you want to follow along with, you know, some of these sets, or if you have them all. Congrats on being addicted to pencils like I am. And notice I just did some dark to light. I wanted to, where I could, do some nice blending. Since I have black, if we look at my inspiration image, which I might pop it up, or I might have already popped it up, but maybe now I'll have it on one side or the other here. The inspiration image shows it's like black yoga pants with this very large floral pattern that I just really loved, and was so grateful that Terry let me take a picture so I could use it for the inspiration for this project. I don't have a lot of problems coming up with colors, but I much more prefer to just like stumble upon some colors rather than have to go seek the colors. I love when they find me. It's just much more natural feeling and kind of fun. As a card maker, I have been finding color combinations for years and years. I used to participate in these color challenges. So I have in my head so many different color combinations, and I've never tracked them or written them down, but I definitely see some people are very visual. I am a visual person, and if I see a pattern on a piece of clothing or a magazine that has a really nice picture and I see colors in it that I would like to replicate, that is pretty much how I roll. Now I'm going to leave, well, you know what I could do? Even if I decide I want the body black, I have 2 bling embellishing things I want to do, because black, again, was part of the yoga pants. So I will be putting black on here. Probably the whole background will be black. I may bring this book with me on my trip specifically to work on that black, because that would be a really good downtime thing to do. I will be staying in multiple places. We will be spending hours on the road, commuting, and so I think bringing this book, now that I know more about this particular page, and I am not finished with the black on, I have one more black coming up that I can pre-color for you guys for when I do the video when I'm home. And then I think I have one project still back a ways that has a little bit of black left. So I have room in my bag for this book and a couple of black Faber-Castell Pitt pens. So there you go. Picture done. Love the pencils. They are great. Again, the dipped ends on all 5 of these made it really easy for me to swap out the ends. But what I have done is on the ones that don't have the black, I just use the tips as my guide. It's annoying because I'm spoiled, but you know, these are like first world colored pencil problems. So set number 2 is Evazar. And color palette, easy to match because it's 126. I don't remember how many are. Oh no, 130 set. They are numbered beautifully from 1 to 130. They're already in color family order, and they come with a really nice gray and black tweed case. So compared to the Black Widows that come in all these little tins, then the Evazars, which you can't get in the US right now and haven't for a while, they're an example of a fantastic, organized, efficient pencil for somebody like me that I'm constantly switching pencils around. Here's my colors. I'm going to get started. Again, I didn't pre-color, so yesterday's were pre-colored. It's kind of fun to see how I do when I change up my strategy. Keeps me on my toes, so to speak. These are a huge core. Look at those monster cores. Look at that hot pink showing how big the core is. I'm really zoomed in close today. So hopefully I remember to move from picture to picture. And I'm not sharpening. I'm kind of just being quick coloring and seeing what I get. Talking about the pencils as I go. These are one of the softest. I just did the Barrel 1986 old Prismas, and I have been curious whether, because Evazar to me is softer than the current day Prismas, and I am going to say I think that the Prismas, the Barrels, these are softer, but they have a smoother lay down. See, they're not as crayon-esque in how they lay down. They're kind of laying down like the Light Fast, which were fantastic and creamy and just really smushy. Look at that smushing that's happening. I can even go with, I want to leave some white, but I'm just enjoying the smushing so much that it's hard to leave it alone. So now I'm going to try, I'm using those little dots to do my arc. I was thinking about this yesterday, the last flower that I did, which were just like these flowers. We're done with the Light Fast, and I am a typical straight line flower trying to replicate veins like these little lines. However, yesterday's flowers didn't have any lines. These do. But I am coloring more in swishy, swirly, along the shadow lines, rather than doing veining or veins. That's kind of how I do most of my leaves and my petals, is with trying to replicate the vein structure. But these are also very small images, so it means you're not going to really realistically see the veins when the images are this small. Okay, so we'll leave this one a little bit lighter over here, and the other two darker. Gonna go with some greens. The palette I picked is a little bit brighter. You'll notice today that I didn't have the pastels to begin with, and the only odd man out set, oh, I forgot to put those pink, is the metallics that I'm going to work with in a little bit. And those, so my blue is going to be my shadow here on my leaves, because I don't have an actual green, just that aqua color. And again, green is my favorite color, and it is really fun to not have green at my disposal, but try to do an approximation of it with other colors. It makes it challenging. So I was, last night, I colored after this. I had my Wednesday meeting, and I was discussing the next phase of life for my Small Victories book, which is the very first coloring book I ever colored in. All right, so let's see, what was I discussing? Book, the plans for the book. Sorry, Hub popped in to remind me of an appointment I have this afternoon. I'm adding, for consistency, a little bit of this mustard color that actually turns sort of greenish when I mix it in with the blue. And these are a lovely mixing, blending pencil without needing light layers. You just put the color down and you just smush it in. It's really nice. Not my normal coloring strategy. All right, I forgot the pom-poms. We'll make these light pink. So this book is mostly colored pencil without a lot of, it's a little bit of bling. Some of the pages I never finished the bling. Okay, that was the Evazar. Moving on to Arteza. Arteza, I had a small set, and the big note I have is that I didn't have the lighter tones. It's a jewel tone sort of a set. And so I am not going to have those light colors. You'll see that my barrels are all quite vibrant. And then the barrels for the pinks are like neon. And neither of them are neon. Again, just like the Evazar. Huge core. Love that. It does make, so I'm doing this fish. And I didn't strategize about the fish. So this particular color is the only color I get for the fish. And we'll see if I can add some tones to the fish. Maybe I will give him a little bit of an iridescent. I've got a little plan for him that I will attempt to talk through. This color is not terrible for like a goldfish-ish fish. So I want to use, I have now at home, since we brought all our stuff from my mom's, I now have 2 binding systems for books. I have the disc system, so these little circles, and I have the punch that goes with it. And then I also own a cinch system, which is a metal spiral-ish. It's not spiral, they close. It's like a clamshell. And I have a whole bunch of those. A collection, huge collection of different metal spiral book ends or spines. So I think I'm going to break this apart. I don't know if I'm going to do it manually because it's really, the spine is already very broken and it is not going to stay together forever. Oh, you know what I did? Golly, you guys, I did it again. There's my fish. I have done a base of the mustardy color, and I had said that it wasn't too bad. Like I could sort of leave it this way, but I think I'm going to still try to do, because these other elements are so small, I will do a little bit more work on the fish, making it as iridescent-y colored as I can make it. So you can see that this light pink is absolutely not neon, even though the barrel is completely bright neon. This is the darker pink, and its barrel is a little closer, but still very bright. It is pinky, and the color is more on the magenta purplish side of things. So the barrels, in a nutshell, on the Artezas, at least my 72 set, the barrels are not a very good match. Aqua is pretty bright. Again, I didn't have a lighter version to choose from. And then when I get to the light blue, it ends up being a very medium blue. So these tones are very jeweled toned. Very, very vibrant. The barrels match better. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to try my crazy plan. We'll see if it works. I am glazing just here and there the blue. I've got these little dots. Oh, they're just begging to be stickles, aren't they? And now I'm adding very soft Where I have the heavier layer of that mustard color, the color skims over the top because it's a waxy surface now and there's no tooth left. So I can glaze it over the whole thing and not really get a lot of color, which is what I am after. A very soft. I won't do the dark pink. I think this light pink will be enough. And I've got my wonderful little goldish fish, hopefully iridescent looking. And there you have it. I might go in, I'm supposed to be in a hurry and not be overthinking things. I'm just darkening certain areas of my fish. Very sweet little fishy face. And we're moving on. And those are the Artezas. We are moving on to the next set. The next set is Kalour Black Barrel, the 3.8. We're doing another big core pencil. I believe that this says it's a 3.8, but I feel it's slightly smaller. Let me grab an Arteza. No, maybe they're the same. So here is the black on the right is the Kalour. Visually, they're either the same or the right side looks even a little bit bigger. So I'm going to give them the 3.8 millimeter core, which is actually on the box. That is their advertising. We have another butterfly. I need to move down a little bit. I don't want to do the butterfly upside down. Flowers, I don't really care. They don't really have a right side up and upside down per se. And again, I haven't got any samples, so I'm just going to go for it. This mustardy color is a little bit on the dark side, but not too bad. We're going to do his body. I'm not sharpening my pencils today. We're just using them as they are. What I really would have loved, but I did not decide to go that route, is if I had decided that I could use a gray. I've done that before. Shadows are really important to me for realism and depth, and I just didn't want to have that extra time for this, wanting to get through, being very eager to finish the book. And you guys have seen so many other colorings like that where I'm working on the depth and the shadows and all that. So I didn't think it was necessary. I just thought it would be fun to talk through 20 different sets of pencils and what I thought about them as I use them and compare them to each other. I think it's fun to do this every few months, and I'm always surprised at the differences. Like yesterday's Light Fast pencils totally surprised me. So the Kalours are, once again, doing what they do best. They are a very fast, very waxy, buttery pencil. The pigment isn't really deep compared to some of the other pencils, like the Artezas and the Evazars have a deeper, darker pigment. They get darker faster. But I feel the tooth really fast, probably because there's fillers on these. And those fillers just go right in, so I don't get a heavy crayon look that I have to smoosh away, for lack of a better term. These, I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I've noticed when I'm doing small images, I own these in the 3.3 millimeter core color barrel. Exact same number, it's the 180 set. So everything's the same, except these have a bigger core. And I actually really like the svelte feeling of the 3.3 millimeter core. And if all I did was small images, and I could only have one of two sets, before I colored with them a lot, I would have said I want the one that has the bigger core. They cost more, so it's not like you're getting the the extra pigment for free. You have to pay for it. And I think if all I did was small images, I would actually prefer, I had to decide a color for the little triangles here. We're going to go for blue. I think I would do the 3.3 millimeter cores over these bigger cores. But I am drawn, I have done my purchase decisions. If I was looking at two different pencils, I would go for the bigger core. Now I don't, after coloring for many, many months with all of these, I don't think that a smaller versus bigger core isn't what I thought it was. How's that? All right, those are put away. Moving on to the, we're going to move on to another challenging set. I might not say what it is yet, though you might see the name. Here, we'll make it so you can't see the name. So here is my color palette. Pretty good. Oh, I think you saw one of them. I am moving on to, and this flower does have a right side up, so I'm going to just slide. And there it is. We're going to get the center done. We have no leaf. It is all about the petals. We have a very thin little leafy stem. So I'm probably going to go ahead and make this a little bit different than the other flowers. I will do the teal. And I'm going to do blue tips. And these I can hear. They are a little bit on the noisy side. So yes, they are drier. I don't know if you can hear it. They are a drier, smaller core. They're very lightweight. I would not call them inexpensive because I think they are as much as the Kalours. They are a little more readily available and very common. And as soon as I finish coloring here, I will reveal what they are. They actually go down pretty good on this paper. I did not do a mock-up on copy paper. Aside from the first 5 that I did mock up yesterday, today there are no mock-ups. This is kind of I didn't have a good burgundy-ish color, so this is looking very pastel-y. I do own only 124. It's a 100 set, and then an additional 24 that are skin tones. I'm adding some fun tip color. Color changes. These were not part of my rotation for a very long time until I had to use every single set of pencils I owned, and I was short one set, so I actually promoted these from never ever will I use them in this book to I'll try them in this book on a very small flower, and oh my goodness, they shined. Now I'm just adding some of this mustard here and there to just make the flower correspond or tie in nicer, even though it's not, it's so soft pinky instead of a little bit brighter pink. It's very much like the pastel set, which was the very first set I used. So there you go. That was beautiful. They worked really well, and they are Crayola. Again, color, these only have names, no numbers. The numbers that you see on the end here are of my own making, and they were, I believe I sorted them in the color family that I have. My desk is getting covered with pencils that I'm not spending the time to put back in. So we're moving on. We are going to do a special set now. They are Let's see if I can even show you the whole, because I'm so zoomed in. Let me zoom out a little bit. I can't even fit these fatties, all of them on here. There you go. And the names, it's a set of 12. And they live with my Castle Arts pastel tints. And I went ahead and we're on row 3 now. Starting row 3, we're going to start with this flower here. I will go upside down. There's a bird that I'm going to have to color. So we'll see if I want to flip it around for that. All right, so there's our flower. We're zooming in. We're getting a good close-up with a butterfly. And there we have it. So we've got a lot of really tiny spaces to fill in with these huge cores. I don't even know. I think it's a 5mm core. Look at those cores. Rawr. So I am going to start with this is called a gold color. It's the closest to mustard that I could find. I am going to add a little bit of soft gold on the leaves that will hopefully blend in. I'm not sure how well these blend. I have never used more than 1 or 2 of these on an image because I always pick the kind of main body colors from the Castle Arts metallics that these live with. They're called Creta Color The Brilliants, and they come from art supply stores like a Blick. I think I got these from Cheap Joe's, possibly. There is a pink. I'm going to use the darker. Electric Ruby is my darker color. Again, I'm not spending the time to sharpen, but if I were to want to spend the time, I would certainly sharpen these. I'm probably going to change the color of each of the flowers a little bit for interest. So this bigger one is going to be more, the color is not pink, it's actually like a lavender, what is it called? Like cotton candy. All right, and I have, these have that mica feel that is so nice. I really love a metallic. Pencil, which is why I now own a 72 set and love them. The experience with the metallics was similar to my experience with Crayola, which I avoided all this time and then was so surprised at how nice they were. And that was how my metallic experience was. It was like, wow, these are really a lovely feeling pencil. I was very disappointed in the color palette, and I am very happy with my when I added these are very nice colored. I'm going to go ahead and get some green going. Oh, golly. The end of this one is a little crumbled. Teeny tiny images. I think I'm going to make the tulips blue. So this actually looks a little crayon-y to me. If I had more time, I think I could get them nice and blended, spending some extra time, but in the interest of just talking through my experience with them, I am not feeling that I have to make the images perfect. These are a hexagonal. They are a huge barrel, the largest barrel I own. I do have an old Jarlink sharpener, so if you're thinking, how on earth do you sharpen this with your electric sharpener? I do own the old bullet-shaped Jarlink that goes to 12mm, and it sharpens these, and I am so grateful that I bought that Jarlink because they don't sell it anymore. That is so sad. Oh, this is coming along nice. I see, I like these colors. These are better colors, these 12. Each in their own right stand out better than the Castle Arts. I think it's a metallic, I believe it's a 48 set. So this is me going in to do just a couple of shadows, but not emphasizing. And then I have one last little bit that I will add for fun. I could leave that white, but I think I'm going to make it like dusty blue for a pop of color. And that's it. That's all I want to do with these. I did have a little crumbs. The tip of the green, just so you know, is crumbled. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to hide all these from my cat. I'll have to put them all back. Next set. Flipping over to the back, I believe that I didn't. What's below the critical? I did not write a code here. Kalour 120 Black Barrel. This is the 3.3 millimeter core. It is actually the white label version, so it does not have a brand name. You can get it on Amazon. That's where I bought these in a tube, and there's other brands that take these and either add a name, but notice there's no Kalour on here. It has the tube with the chameleon on it, and they were my first set of Kalours that I bought, and I have since had a couple of coloring group people. We're going on to the bird. I'm going to turn it so it's right side up. The bird is next. There he is. He or she. Okay, again, have not just blocking out some areas of color. These are, again, a fast coloring pencil. They are just like the Black Barrel 3.8 millimeter core, only very slender looking. The color numbers and names are different, but they do go down and feel the same. So it is interesting to me that this set is not the set that has the same color numbers and names as the Shuttle Art Brutfuner Kalour, which I own 2 Kalours and 1 Brutfuner that all have the same names and numbers. This is not that set. These are different. We've got some green leaf work. Let's take the honey and make his beak. I'm going to call this sort of hummingbird-esque. That's what I'm thinking. You can get them with these just like the 3.8 millimeter core. They are very fast to fill in the tooth. I was going super, super light to just block my colors. It's a cheat. It means that I could erase if I really needed to change colors around, if I didn't like what my choices were. But I think I am okay with what I went with. I've got my light pink. I've only done the dark pink. I am actually over here closing my screen so I can keep track of the time. Okay, so I am probably going to be finishing this one, and then you guys will just have me gone for a Flash Gordon, and then I'll be back to finish because I get to take Lucky to get the second half of his vaccines. You know, we got him and he had some congestion issues. The congestion cleared up, but then like the pollen came back and he was hanging out in the screen room and he got all congested again. So he's only had one set of vaccines. This is his second set. And then I think he's going to be good. I'm going to leave his little chest white. I'm going to fill in more of this gold. And a little more of the green. And then I will be leaving to take him away. And again, you will just see me gone for just a flash. And then we will see, maybe I will prepare the last 4 pencil sets so that we will finish this page and we'll see. Maybe I can go long. I've gone 41 minutes. Now I'll have to break it into 2. All right, everybody. I'll be back in a second. All right. Time has gone by. Lucky made it to the vet, got his bill of health, and got his second phase of vaccinations and his rabies shot. I have Holbein in my hand. Here is our set of colors. This is going to be very tiny. So let's see how well I can find the centers of all of these teeny tiny flowers. I thought I would try to cram this all into 2 days, but we were already at 41 minutes before I had to go to the vet, so I don't think I could get the whole row and a half done. So I will go a 3rd day, but I'm very happy that it won't take a 4th day. So this is very good. Again, I'm trying to get done with this week's and then jump into next week's before I leave on my trip. I'm even thinking of calling next week's, since it is pre-coloring, vacay color instead of daily color. We'll see what I end up doing. So for the blue greens, we're going to be adding a little bit of this mustard because I like how the color mixes. This is my backup color, by the way. I really wanted to use a color called mustard, but it actually looks like a pretty close match. This is called khaki. Again, all of the names and numbers for each of the days. I am saving time by not sharing as I go, but they will be in the description for you should you choose to use all of the sets that I am using each day. But I don't want this to hold you guys back. If you want to do, you can do your own colors if you don't like my colors, or you can use your own sets. Or not change so many sets. You can do the whole page, this limited color palette, with just one set of pencils. I just like to torture myself, I guess. So already, mentally, I am comparing these to the Light Fast. So far, I have not had the Holbeins be like the winner. There's always some other set that impresses me for whatever reason. I remember the very first time I used the Holbeins, it was the houses at the very beginning. I am looking for the light. And so I did 3 sets, Spearfarben, Prang, and Holbein. Holbein was first, and I was totally expecting Holbein to just stomp and be so much better than the other 2. The second set was the Prangs, and it did a really good job. I was very impressed because I had 0 expectation of them even coming close to either the Spearfarben or the Holbein. And then I used this Spearfarben, and I was so impressed by them. So on that occasion, head to head, Spirfarben 1. So now I've got some different sets in here, but the very first row, last set, I did the Derwent Light Fast. And those actually, and it could partially be a function of either the colors and the formula. It could be the material, like the fact that I'm doing these teeny tiny, like hydrangea looking flowers versus the particular flowers that I got to color for the Derwent Light Fast 2 rows back. I mean, there's a whole bunch of factors, but I will have to say up front, I love the Holbein, but they are not going to win the contest. And they just didn't. They're good. They do what they need to be doing, but this particular image isn't one that's going to allow them to shine fully, I don't think. The medium, or I mean the subject matter is too delicate to really have these be impressive to me. I haven't sharpened. All of these are the original. I guess I take that back. The 2 blues are the original tip. The khaki and the hot pink have been sharpened, and it looks like the lighter pink also has been sharpened at least once. I think I need the stem. I'm going to start with this color. I am going to try a little color manipulation. I've decided this will be my last one, by the way. I forgot to mention that for today. And then the rest will be tomorrow. See how delicate that stem is? It would work way better if I had sharpened these. All right, so these colors are going to look bluish, but I wanted to see if I could manipulate the color and kind of test the blending, since the image is it's so delicate. I just don't think I'm going to be able to test out my ability to mix these colors to the degree I can with bigger spaces to be colored. I'm trying to get a green, and this isn't a tealy aqua light blue. I didn't have one appropriate for that, so this is more of just a basic light blue. All right, so that concludes today. And boy, trying to pick a winner. Let me look at my list. I went away and have returned, and I do really like the second row. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to give it to Evazar as my favorite. Evazar. Black Widows were very close behind. And this butterfly, the Kalour, was nice. I think they had slightly less pigment when I put them down, so I'm still going to say Evazar first and Black Widow second. And then, boy, I'm going to have to remember that Evazar was number 1. I'm going to make a little note, because then I'm going to see if I can give you guys my thoughts on the whole page. And I already said that Light Fast was the first. Black Widow is second. And I did rank all of them on the first row. I won't tell you what the rankings are on the next 3 in the interest of saving time. However, you got the top 2. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. We will finish this up tomorrow. I will have 7 more images to color with 7 more sets of pencils. I hope you all will join me, and I will see you then.